Between Monday and Friday, I'm the CEO of a high-performing technology business, and at 23 Grand Prix weekends of the year, I'm the team principal of a high-performing sports team. Morning, guys. All right. Hey, guys, can you take that for me?
And he's really sorry about the Fernando Alonso fire.
Yeah, wrong shirt, eh?
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Morning, Jeffrey. Okay. Well, I tend to arrive at a venue probably on a Thursday afternoon or Thursday evening, so I tend to be one of the last there. So if there's any last-minute parts, I'm the last bag carrier available. Got in at about 10ish or so last night, so the hotel for 11. And you've just been on a plane for 20 hours, so the last thing you want to do is go to bed, really. But I think this is the toughest one, because especially as it's a one-off race, so it's not attached to anything, it's not a back-to-back, so to come here for essentially 3 days, you just start to get into it, and then you get on a plane to go home. I had Toto and Fred Vasseur on my flight, and he slipped a disc, and he had to stand up most of the way. Yeah, Toto's had his eyes lasered or something, and I was recovering from food poisoning, so it's such a difficult race to win, this one, and it's one of the best trophies on the tour. It's one we dearly love to win this year, for sure. Somebody farted. I don't know what it's the car is. Let off a bit of gas.
That's too late.
It's easier said than done.
Thank you. That's great.
Well, look, it's great to be back in Australia, and this is such a big race. The whole town comes alive with Formula One, and I think the fans here are just so enthusiastic. Thanks a lot. Look, the fans are everything. Without the fans, there is no Formula One, and they're the lifeblood of why we exist. So I think it's only fair and right when the fans stand out there for hours to see the drivers or principals or personalities, that you give a bit back, by taking half an hour to sign some autographs and shake some hands and even receive some budgie smugglers.
Hey!
What do you think of those? What do you think of those? Thankfully, I didn't get to keep the budgie smugglers, but they were definitely on brand. Jet lag. Other than that, all good. The background that I had, it wasn't just about driving a car, it was also running a small business and all the issues that come with that, whether it's finding the funding, whether it's doing the VAT returns, whether it was booking hotels, whether it was dealing with payroll, etc., recruitment. When you've grown up in that world, in that environment, I think it gives you a great education, and I was fortunate that I had that, and I had it in the real world experience of Formula 2 racing as it was at the time.
Good morning.
I mean, everything evolves with time, so if you look at the size of the business now, it's probably 4 times the size that when I first started at the beginning of 2005.
End of the first quarter now, so we've done the first 3 months, and it's looking good. First of all, the sort of year-on-year increase from this time last year, which is 24% up on sales from last year. So the big area here is for merchandise. We're seeing a huge uptake. Yeah, it's Castor and New Era have been the big players there.
And which markets are selling well?
I mean, the ones that we'd expect. So it's UK, it's Mexico, it's the sort of the Benelux region, but also the US. The US is doing very well as well.
Do we know how we compare with any of our competitors?
We're in a much more favourable position.
Good.
So winning on and off the track.
You've got to have a good team of people around you, and at Red Bull Racing, we've got an incredible team across all the different businesses that we now operate. Red Bull Powertrains, Red Bull Advanced Technology, Red Bull Racing, Red Bull Technology. Yes, you're as good as the team of people around you, and it's of course a matter of being able to delegate responsibility to the different functions. Hey, very smooth.
Wonderful air.
Thank you.
Like Daniel Craig if he were a cricket umpire.
Very good.
So, appearance at 10:45.
So I got time for breakfast?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, good to know.
Morning.
Good morning. Really, a Grand Prix weekend is very much mapped out in the preparation of schedules of meetings and briefings, strategy briefings, sponsor commitments, press commitments. So really, my time from the moment I arrive on Monday is into a program that will see me finish late on a Friday night, park Ferme thankfully on a Saturday, unless I have sponsor commitments on a Saturday evening. And then of course race day, which there's the whole build-up with the briefings and strategy briefings prior to the Grand Prix itself.
Obviously there's the two sessions where we're looking at the competitiveness of the car, the drivers dialing themselves in, working on the setup through the sessions, because that's the only chance they've got to do that.
Top down, going full throttle.
And the circuit, because it's not a permanent circuit, it's getting faster and faster and faster, so it's evolving pretty quickly. There is just non-stop action here. From the moment you arrive at the circuit, there's something running on track all weekend, and it's just like a festival of motorsport.
What I want. It's what I want. What I want. Yeah.
How you doing? You all right?
I think I can.
All right. Right, good afternoon everybody. It was another great weekend for us. Australia's not been happy hunting ground in recent years, and we could tell in free practice we looked very competitive. And the soft and medium tyres were both, we could see, suffering from quite a lot of graining. So we focused a lot on the setup for the race. Max progressed through Q2. We managed to get a good first run. For the final run, we elected to go for just one single lap, and was able to pull out a stunning lap, which was, I think, put him over 3/10 clear. After qualifying, we decided to change Checo's electrical components. Meant that we'd start from the pit lane, but gives him an extra unit in his pool for the rest of the year.
It was a good quali. It was a bit tricky to get the tyres in the right window, but I'm very happy to be on pole.
I always stood in the garage for the start of a Grand Prix, but it used to be regulatory that you had to be in the garage. And then that rule was changed several years ago. We've won 95 races with me doing that, so I thought, why change, a habit of a lifetime now? So I think there's little superstitious things that creep into your preparation, which I think just help get you mentally in the right frame of mind, for a Grand Prix. Max start wasn't fantastic, and Russell got a flyer. And again, Max showing great maturity. I think knowing that he got a very quick car that day, just getting out of it quickly, then got into his stride and started to really put pressure on the two Mercedes cars ahead.
For sure there's going to be a safety car.
Just as Max was lining up to make a pass on Lewis, the safety car came out, and it was right at the cusp of whether we elected to pit. But they then decided to red flag the race. So at the restart, lining up second on the grid, Max was able to put a move reasonably comfortably on the Mercedes. And in the meantime, Checo was making great progress at a track that's very, very hard to overtake at. Unfortunately, the race was then red flagged after Magnussen had a shunt. The cars formed up for that final 2 laps of racing, and Max made a blinding start and led comfortably into turn 1, whilst behind, all chaos let loose, with Carlos Sainz collecting Alonso, Sergio having to take to the grass.
Yeah, Checo nearly had somebody run up the back of him.
And again, a red flag before Max had even got to sector 1, and then elected to do one final lap to see the race out.
And well done.
Win is a win. You take it.
That was enough to bring home the 3rd victory of the year and extend our lead in both Constructors and Drivers' Championships.
Yeah, no, well done, mate. That was a bit of a lengthy one, but well navigated. Our first win here since 2011.
We've just got to keep doing what we're doing well, keep our head down, keep pushing, keep looking for those marginal gains. We know our rivals will be looking to make gains over coming races. Rob Marshall collected the trophy, electing not to spray either the drivers, but downing pretty much the entire contents of the bottle. you have to love what you do, and I love what I do, and I love racing, and I'm passionate about Formula One, and I still get the same enjoyment on my 19th visit to Australia that I did on the first. Well, the final thing is really just to raise a glass to say, again, it's been the most fantastic start of the season, 3 race wins, so well done to everybody here, and thank you very much indeed.